Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. All right, yo, what's going on? I am walking around my empty ass living room because it's always been empty, but I just don't want to sit at my desk in front of a screen and talk. I just would rather just kind of be fluid and walking around, whatever, I don't know. So here we are. So today I actually looked at what it would look like to pull back hours on Mina, Dawson, Trey, and Brian to see how far I could pull the hours back and still be able to afford life while living with Lexi and not having my full-time job income. Because I've got, I think, 5 paychecks left. Maybe 4. I don't know. I think it's 4. Either way, that's coming to an end. And obviously I need to plan accordingly. So I was looking at what I could afford to do as far as hours go, because I'm getting very frustrated with the lack of hours that I have for my own projects. And I think the frustration stems from, I've built so much already, but I don't. Oh, fuck. Dude, I be hearing every noise that happens in the world because I'm home. I just heard a noise upstairs. Somebody's upstairs for sure. I'm gonna get stabbed. Anyway, this is the only show that will never be uploaded because I died. Just kidding. So I think it's just, I built so much shit, and a lot of it, all of it works great. I built a master log, I built a check-in tracker, I've built a group chat sorter, whatever you want to call it, assigner. Built a financials log that calculates a shit ton of stuff. I've built a renewals log, a renewals database. I have a whatever you want to call it, a days out database. So it says how many days the client is from whatever thing we're trying to track. So if it's their last day, or if it's their birthday, or if it's their 6 month, whatever. I've got that. I've got the clock in, clock out. I've got the hours tracker. I've got the hub, or the hours hub for the CEO view, so they can see all the people's hours, all their employees' hours for the week, for the month, all that stuff, and then pay them accordingly. I've got the onboarding forms. I've got the closer form. I've got the onboarding database. I'm not even trying to say all this shit to sound like I have all these things and they're all built and they all work. But if I'm gonna sell this, I want to make it as professional as possible so that it justifies the high price point. And when I think about not being able to sell this for maybe another 6 months, but I get $10,000 per sale, that, when I think of it like that, I just feel 10 times better about the decision to just keep a steady pace. There's no rush. I think the reason for the rush is because I just am so excited. I'm so eager. I have a lot going on right now. I'm just trying to take advantage of this opportunity. So what I did today was I went through the check-in tracker, and I actually went through and made it as professional as I could. And that's still going to be a work in progress, but I made custom headers, custom logos, custom symbols, custom buttons, everything. And it looks nice. It looks crisp as shit. That's the kind of thing that I would feel comfortable putting a price tag of 10 grand behind. You know what I mean? It's funny because all this started off, I was like, can I charge 2 grand? I don't know. And then it was like, 5 grand is the bare minimum. And now it's like 10 is probably going to be good. It's just the amount of work and the value that I see. So, side note, it doesn't matter how good it is. I have to communicate that value. A good example of that, actually, so I guess it's not a side note, I guess we're diving in, but a good example of that is I sent a massive text to Mina, Dawson, and Trey. Trey's the only one who hasn't responded. Or actually, Mina hasn't responded either, but we talked since. It's a big text. So all I said was, hey man, working on this sales and leads tracker. It tracks all this stuff, and yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome. And Dawson said, dude, that sounds great. It just might be a pain in the ass for the VAs to use. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking about, what I was going to say was like, no, because they only have to fill in 4 extra things. But what I said was, yeah, dude, I spent some time thinking about it. I think I figured out how it would happen. So it would be 4 multiple choice questions, and they just fill it out. So the first one is paid or free. Next question is inbound or outbound. Next question is the platform that it was on. Next question is the type of content that it was of, so video, photo, whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then yeah, absolutely. And perfect example, I share that as a perfect example because I just didn't communicate the value, or I didn't make it easy to understand from the first. So I had to send a clarification text, and then he got it. And maybe he's just bullshitting me. Either way, I take it as a learning lesson. So a learning lesson, whatever. So yeah, I'll get there when I get there. I just need to make the system work, What I want to do is, so this sales and leads thing that I've been talking about, that I've been just stressing over the last few days, is a mammoth, and I just don't think that I should allocate my time to that right now. I'd love to finish it because I'm so far into it, but I'm gonna have to pull back, and I think I'm gonna allocate the time elsewhere. And I think what I'm going to do is start from the top and work my way down. So I'm going to, not the tippy top, because the tippy top is the thing that I actually have to do last, because it's the closer form and that populates everything. So I'm gonna start with the master log, and I'm gonna go through and I'm just going to touch every single part of the entire thing, make it nice, organize it, make views, make SOPs as I go. And if it takes me 2 weeks to make the master log great, then that's how long it takes. Because I just want to feel good about the product that I am selling. I do not want to put a giant price tag next to a mediocre product. I mean, it's probably great for these coaches, but I know what it can be. And because I know that, I just don't want to settle for anything less. And if that means I make, if that means that I don't make 70 grand this year, from selling it 14 times for this year, then so be it. If it means that I don't make a single penny next year, so be it. That would suck ass. I really hope that's not the case, but so be it. I think the best course of action for me is to not rush an exceptional product when it doesn't need to be. Hopefully nobody listening is stealing this idea and running off with it. And if that's, if nobody is, then I don't think I have much to worry about as far as somebody swooping in. I don't know, because I don't know. I just feel like it's unlikely, and I hope that I stay correct as fuck on that. But dude, truthfully, if somebody swoops in, they take it, there's, that's probably good. That's probably good business right there. I think that just proves the concept that what I'm trying to build is valuable because somebody else had the same idea, capitalized on it, so I am in the right area. And for fuck's sake, dude, we have 150,000 different fast food chains, and they're all doing well. So, just make something that people want and they'll buy it, even if there's plenty of alternatives. Now, I'm not trying to commoditize myself, but definitely want to. I'm going to keep on going with this. I got thinking too. I think this is very valuable being in Notion rather than its own software, because people use Notion, and the fact that it can integrate with their own stuff, I think that's powerful. A lot of people don't use Notion, and for them, like Trey, it's no harm, no foul. But for some people, like Dawson, he was already using Notion. So if I said, hey man, you're already using Notion, perfect. This goes inside of Notion as well. you're going to be solid, and it's just everything's going to be in one spot for you. Perfect. So really looking forward to that now, because for a while there I was like, hey, I got to hire a team, and maybe long-term future, maybe I'll take that route. I don't know, but for now I've just got to focus on building this thing out and then getting it in the right hands. Because right now, I feel like it's either or. I don't feel like I can do both. I don't feel like I can maintain the schedule that I have right now and then also introduce the marketing and the selling of the system on social media and actually taking calls and doing all that shit. I can't do that and also continue building it and polishing things off and whatever else. Like I've gotta get to the point, I've said it a million times, where I can sell it, make one sale, probably make like 3 or 4 sales, so that I have a little pile of money to hang out on in case shit goes south. But if I only need $3,500 a month to survive, like that's it, and I'm getting 20 grand from 4 sales, then right there I'm set for half a year, right? So if I can just do that, get to the point where I'm selling it, sell at least 4, like bare minimum 1, but at least 4, then I can pull back hours on Mina, Trey, and Dawson. I'll probably always still be doing stuff for Mina. Dawson's a great guy as well, but I think with Trey, I think I'll probably pull back. No hard feelings either. It's just, he cut my hours down to 10. That's no problem. But then, just barely, I guess not just barely, this week, he tells me, hey man, I just need you to be there for the team this week. That's the biggest focus. And I'm like, cool. So do you want me to resume on the business expense tracker? And he didn't say, yeah, that's awesome. He says, yeah, we can do that. Let's put 8 to 10 hours on that. Like he gave me a range. He said 8 to 10. And so I might, well, I already put it in 10 actually, but next week I might just do the 8. That's what he said. If he's allowing me to kind of lean out, then I think I'm going to take advantage of that, because it's only 2 hours, but that's just, I don't feel like I'm overworking myself at all, because I'm frustrated that I can't work more, actually. I just feel like I want to give so much attention to my own thing, and I can't. Like, I don't have time to do that. This morning, I woke up, started working, it was 5:20, everything was great. And next thing I know, it's 8:30, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And, 5:30 to 8, that's the time that I work on my own stuff. And that's been working great. I love that I've done that. Just prioritizing my own stuff. And I love that. But 8:30, and I'm like, holy shit, what happened? So, what that means is I was 30 minutes over, so that's 30 minutes I got to make up for Mina. And, I was able to do that. I'm fine. And then I went to the gym, did all that stuff, came back home. And I wanted to finish what I was doing with Mina, so therefore I guess I technically worked over, but I told them it would be done by the end of the day. Thought it would be, and it's actually not, because there's an error with Notion and some bullshit, whatever. So I'm talking to the Notion support people. So hopefully this is not a problem in the future, because the error that's happening that I have to contact Notion for is how I'm going to transfer what I've built to other people's workspaces. So that's a problem. So hopefully it's nothing big. But anyway, that's that. And the other thing that I need to get back to, because I kind of drifted away from this the last week or two, is aligning what everybody wants so that I'm building the same thing for everybody. I need to get back to that, because that, quote, frees up time. Because if Trey, Mina, and Dawson want the business expense tracker, I would feel much better, putting in the time, the total amount of time required. Like, everybody gets that, but that's it. Like, it kind of, for the total week as a whole, like that, they get that. I feel fine doing that. I've talked about it a million times. I guess if I feel the need to justify it, maybe I don't. I don't know. But I feel fine doing that, because they're all getting what they want me to build. And because they want me to build it, it's actually more beneficial, because it's more time spent on the thing, get more coaches' inputs on the project, and I'll get a better result as a result of this. So I just need to line it up so that's what's happening. But unfortunately, Mina, we're transferring everybody into Notion. We're getting that set up. Dawson, I'm doing some one-off business expense tracker stuff. I'm doing some extension shits. With Trey, I guess I'm doing the business expense thing, but I'm also being there for the team. I don't know. And then with Brian, I'm just doing as much as I can because I guess they just want me to get this done ASAP and move on to the next thing. So that's what I spent the last 2 hours doing. Went to Lexi's house and was able to do that. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I'm not even, like, I say this truthfully, but like my biggest concern for the first time in like so long in my life is not money. It's not like shit, you know, I gotta work more hours at my job so I can pay for this thing, or fuck, I gotta buy new tires, I gotta put it on a credit card. And it's not that anymore. It's, I guess I've been wearing my backpack this whole time. Let's take this off. It's not that, it's just like, how can I free up how can I maneuver my hours around my schedule? How can I work less so that I can spend more time on the thing that's going to be the most beneficial long term? How can I do that? So my biggest concern is like, fuck, I have no time. And it's crazy because, you know, there's some people out there that really do have families and kids and they got shit going on and they're running businesses. And it's just kudos to them. You know, right now, I don't know how I would do that. I'm sure I'd figure it out, but right now I'm taking full advantage of the fact that I don't have kids. I don't have a family, you know, like my own family. I gotta, you know, tend to and provide for. Like it's just me, myself, and I. And even when I do live with Lexi, you know, we're not combining anything. Like she pays for her stuff, I pay for my stuff, and I think that's how it should be. You know, we're not married, so yet. So yeah, I'm just. Biggest concern right now is just trying to figure out how the fuck to get projects done. It is nothing else. And I don't know. I've also had thoughts going back to kind of like exploring different ideas. Up until, I don't know, I would say I'm a night owl for sure by default. And I think that's just because it's just easier for me to stay up late and then wake up late. You know, as long as I sleep the same amount of hours, like, I don't know. I don't dig too deep into all that shit of like going to sleep at the right time or the wrong time or whatever. I feel like as long as you get your sleep and you are living life to the best of your ability, like in an optimal way, I don't think your body knows that it's 9:43 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I don't know. Now we have the internal clock, you know. That's how we, you know, get cycled through and getting tired and waking up, you know. When you sleep, you have your ultradian cycles, and then you have, what the fuck's the main one called? Circadian? Arcadia? Katydid? You got some katydid rhythms? I know, I'm just playing. But you have your circadian? I don't know. You have your circadian rhythm. That's your daily clock, right? But, like, here's the thing, dude. It's 6 p.m. or it's 9:43 p.m. right now. If I go to Australia, it's probably daytime. So your body adjusts to shit. And if it has stuff to do with the sun and the sunrise, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I've just always, like when people say, go to bed 2 hours earlier so you can wake up 2 hours earlier, you know, you get 2 more hours out of the day. What do you mean, bro? That's, if you pull from it, there's only 24, I don't know. I used to see a lot of posts when I was coming up with like bodybuilding and stuff. People are like, yeah, if you just wake up at 5 instead of 7, you get 2 more hours out of the day, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I'm like, well, no, because I got to go to bed 2 hours earlier. And anyway, so little tangent there. I've always been a night owl. It's just so easy for me to stay up. when I guess, don't wake up at 4 a.m., okay? So it's probably a universal statement for everybody, but I've I've just considered the possibility, and I don't think I'm going to do it just because, like, if I'm going to have a girlfriend and I'm going to live with the girlfriend and we're going to do life together, it's probably in my best interest to sync up the wake and sleep times, just for a shit ton of reasons. But I have thought about, what if I just went back to going to sleep at 2 or 3 and then waking up at 10 or 11? Because it seems like, for me, like right now, I'm upset because I have to go to sleep. It's 9:45. I have to go upstairs, upload this, get this done. And that's my day. Brush my teeth, go to sleep. That's my night. I have to go to sleep. But if you said, hey, you can go to bed at 3, actually, dude, I'd be stoked, because it's like, holy shit, 5 hours of uninterrupted work. Hell yeah. And then it's all quiet, it's dark, no one's, like, everyone else is sleeping, and I think it's the same concept for the morning, wake up early enough and everyone else is sleeping, no one's gonna bug you, and whatever. But dude, I don't know, my whole life it's always been easier for me to stay up late. For about 6 months, when I was living in Orem, Utah, I was going to UVU. I was a full-time college student. This is actually when I dropped out, fun fact, but I was a full-time college student. I was working a full-time job, and with my schedule, the only time that I could go to the gym, I'm not even bullshitting, was 2 a.m. Because I had class. I mean, I could go in the morning, but I'm not gonna do that shit. So I think I had class from 10 to 3 every day. Certain days were less, other days maybe more. Because I had the Monday, Wednesday, Friday shit, and then the Tuesday, Thursday shit, and then I actually had a Saturday class, just because it didn't fit with my schedule. I don't know. Anyway, I did that, and I would work from 4 to midnight. I was at Smith's. I was working in the grocery department at Smith's Marketplace in Lehigh. There you go. And when I would get off, I would get home around 12:30-ish. So I would eat, kind of hang out for a sec. And then 1 o'clock, 1:30 rolls around. I start heading to the gym. Workout goes from 1:45 to 3:15. Finish that. I'm driving home close to 4. Right, I'm getting to sleep close to 4. And I did that for 4 or 5 months. And the reason why I dropped out is because I just truthfully was just like, what the fuck is this shit, bro? Like, I have no idea what degree I want to even pursue, and what the hell is that degree going to do for me, Dude, I don't even want to get into it, but never mind. I'll talk about that another time. It's just crazy to think that people agree. Like, people know this when they go to college. They know that when they graduate, they're not going to get a job that's paying $500 million an hour. They know it's going to be, rather than 40 grand a year, it's going to be 70 grand a year. And like, for some people, maybe that's all they want, and whatever. But you commit to going to school for 4, 6, 8 years. I'm not talking about doctorates and all that shit, because you're making some money there, being a surgeon and all that shit. And we definitely need those people. Definitely need people in the, lawyers, doctors, all that shit. We need those things. But people know what they're getting into, and people sign up to go to school for 4, 6, 8 years to get put into 6 figures worth of debt, to then get a job that pays not even double what they make now. And again, maybe that's fucking awesome for you. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. And then that's a whole decade, if they're doing on the greater side of things, the longer side of things. And then I'm actually going to stop right there. I have no idea where I was going with any of this. Where was I at? Why was I talking about Oh, yeah. So I dropped out because of that reason. I was like, dude, I'm already in debt. I have done I don't know how many semesters I've done at that point. I think I did 4 semesters. And I'll never forget it. I walked up to my English professor and I said, hey, I need you to sign this. I'm actually, I didn't say I was dropping down. I said, I'm moving back up north, so I got to drop this class. And he says, what happened? I can't remember what I said the first time, but he said, oh, why? You're doing so well in this class. That's what he said. And I was like, I appreciate it. I'm just, and then I think I said whatever. But I'll never forget that he said, oh, man, you're doing so good in this class. The what, And that's when I was like, yeah. And I've honestly never looked back. The most annoying thing, though, is when I meet younger people and the first question is like, oh, where are you studying? Oh, you going to school? Or I guess not even younger people, but older people as well. It's always like, you going to school, young man? It's like, nope, drop the fuck out of that shit. And if you tell an old person that, it's just like, oh, well, if you dropped out of school, you're going to amount to nothing. You're going to be homeless next week. Good riddance, Speaking of old people, I was walking around the base store today. There's this guy talking to the desk worker about a laptop that was on sale. The guy says, does this come with the AI? And the lady says, oh, you know what? I think AI is an app now, and I think you can just download AI, and you can just use that app, and then it'll be good. And that's all I heard of the conversation. But it's just funny. People just like, AI is not new. It's not. I mean, it's new relative to the last decade, but it's not. It didn't come out yesterday. It's just been around for probably 2 years now. And for someone to say, does it come with the AI, as if it's like the one and only? And then for the lady to say, no, you download AI. It's just funny to me. You don't got to download shit. Go to chatgpt.com, go to grok.com, go to Claude, go to Gemini. Fuck, dude, I don't know. It's just old people, man. All good. They got it tough, dude, for real. Like, I'm not even trying to be a softie or a kiss ass right now. But imagine you grew up your whole life without technology. Like, nothing. You had phone books and you had phones where you had to remember the people's number and you didn't have to dial the area code. I actually remember that. I remember when they actually implemented that, because my home phone number was 476-0621, and then they made me dial my area code, and maybe I'll keep that private, but no, I'm not going to do that. It's fucking 801. And so then I had to put 801, and I was like, what the fuck's this 801 shit? Why can't I just do 476-0621? Anyway, so they didn't, that's all they had to worry about. They didn't have to worry about the area code. Every car was gas. An electric car was, what the fuck is that? A computer, kind of using them. A cell phone, what's that? And then all of a sudden, we have cars that are driving themselves. We're going to Mars. We have this artificial intelligence shit. Every video that we see on these phones that we don't even know how to use, they're fake, they're generated. And then we have all this different terminology, all these different words and jargons and all this shit, and then we're expected to just know how it works. Like, I'm not going to say I grew up with technology. I kind of did, I guess. I mean, maybe, I think 6th grade for me is when I got turned to video games, and that was RuneScape. That was the first one I really got sucked into. Played that religiously, and honestly, if I had, I don't know if this is true, but if I had all the money in the world and I was successful and I felt accomplished, I'd probably buy the nastiest gaming setup for a computer, and I'd probably just game a lot. I probably would. If I felt that feeling of accomplishment from doing everything that I wanted to do, I probably would do that. Because the amount of times that I think about like down or going and getting like a gaming PC or something like that, I mean, I don't consider it, I think about it. I think it's a very important distinguishing factor. There is, think about shit a lot, never consider it though. Like I think about Lamborghinis all the time. I never consider buying them right now. I just can't. I'm not going to even try to consider buying one right now, right? But I think about getting the fattest, nicest PC that I can afford right now, and then just gaming with my little brother, because I actually asked him one time, and this is probably years ago, but I said, hey dude, would you rather I get a Lambo and we cruise up and down on the boulevard, every night? It's convertible, it's nice, whatever. Or would you rather be able to game together and play games whenever we wanted? And he said, game together. That's what he said. And then he followed up with like, oh, Ashley said it's pretty tough. Lambo's pretty sweet, But he said the gaming thing first. And I still think about that to this day. Because, obviously I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do what I want to do and go after the things that I want to go after. But to hear your little brother say he doesn't want a Lambo, because he loves Lambos, but he doesn't want a Lambo. He wants to game with his older brother, dude. I don't know. I would just love to be able to do that. I would love to be able to play all these games that he knows of. I'd love to be able to just sit there and just not have any worries, and just be able to just, if I wanted to, spend a night and just just take the night and just piss it away gaming. If I could just do that once or twice a week with my little brother, that would be incredible. I would love to be able to do that. A lot has to happen first before I would feel comfortable doing that. I'm not going to do that anytime soon. But when I get to a point where I've got all my shit taken care of, there's no worry, I have time to just piss away, I'm definitely going to do that, because those are some of the best memories I have. I have montage videos of gaming moments with my friends, and it's hours long. It's probably like 4 hours long of 5 to 10 second clips of just funny moments, people raging, cool clips caught, whatever. And I watch those often, actually. If anything, I'll just listen to them, because it's just like, dude, I didn't have any cares in the world, bro. And this is like, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm 20 years old, 22 years old when this shit's happening. Living at home, not caring, And just, I miss it. I feel like I've detached myself quite a bit from it, so I'm fine. I don't have any way to play any games. I was playing Minecraft on my laptop for a minute there, but it was kind of laggy. It wasn't as enjoyable. I was playing solo. Didn't tell my little brother because I didn't want him to think that we were able to game again and then me to lead it, and that's exactly what happened. So thank goodness. But yeah, if I could get to that point, that'd be sweet. Definitely wouldn't do it all the time, but I would just love the ability to. So anyway, what else? I think maybe that's it. I'm just doing some very loose packing. I'm packing up all the stuff that I never ever look at, never ever use. I got this closet downstairs in my kitchen, kinda, and I just put all my random shit in there, and so I packed that up. But going through it, I was like, why do I have this? And so I got a big box of shit. I'm just getting rid of stuff. So there's a lot of shit in there. It's funny because we just go on, I'll speak for myself here. I just go on autopilot, I'm like, I remember how to pack this. I packed it the last 3 times. I put it in the box, and I'm like, wait, hold on. When's the last time I used this? Do I need this? Yeah. And so now it's in a box. I heard this thing, and it said, if you don't know what to get rid of when you're moving or trying to get rid of stuff, imagine if there was a shit smeared all over it. Would you try to clean it off, or would you just throw it away? Like, what would you do? So, for example, my MacBook, if there's shit smeared all over it, would I throw it away? Fuck no. I'm cleaning it off. What about an old book? Like, is there shit smeared all over it? Yeah, I'm not cleaning it. See ya. Like, it's not even a question. So, the shit test. I don't know who came up with it, but I think it's clever. Like my lunchbox. I'm going to get rid of it. But if there was shit smeared all over it, would I try to clean it up? I'd say, fuck no, I'll buy a new one. I don't need it. What do I need a lunchbox for, dude? My lunch is always with me. Never go anywhere. Actually, I go everywhere to get lunch. That's funny. But anyway. So yeah, I'm just trying to pack up some shit that I never use and just trying to make packing easier when it comes time to move. You know, if I can just pack, I don't know, 4 boxes a week of just random shit that I don't need immediately, then by the time we move, it's about 4 weeks, I guess. What the fuck? 6 weeks. You know, that's 20 boxes. That's about, I don't even know if I have 20 boxes worth of shit, but I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling on about stuff, so let me bring it back. I just gotta get a better grip on how I'm spending my hours. I look at my calendar and it's nice because it all makes sense and it's all lined up, and as long as I follow the calendar, I'm good. But you know, it's not practical. You know, like it makes sense. The hours add up, but I can't just like at 8 o'clock. I'm not just gonna just drop everything I'm doing and then move on to the stuff with Mina. You know, if that's who I'm scheduled to work for. I'm not going to do that. So that means I probably got to start wrapping up ship. And what's the saying? Whatever it is. Wrapping up ship. Wrap up ship? I don't know what the fuck the saying is, dude. I feel like my brain is going. There's there's just certain things that I just cannot remember. And I'm like, I should be able to wrap up ship? Is that what it is? I can't exit out of the voice memos app. It'll probably stop the recording. Wrap up ship. Time to wrap up ship, son. I don't know what the fuck it is. But no, for real, serious, no. There's a lot of things that I just forget. Like circadian rhythm. Why did I forget that? I knew ultradian cycle for sleep, but I didn't know circadian rhythm. I had to think about it. Why is shit not? I'm only 28, dude. What's going on? I think cognitive decline starts pretty soon for men, right? In 28? Does it start after 26 or something like that? Don't you peak at 26 and then I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I just got to get, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I just, you know, I'd have to wrap up around 7:30 and then spend 30 minutes mapping out how I'm going to continue on when I pick up tomorrow morning. And 30 minutes probably isn't even long enough because I just get so deep into these things. It would just be better if I had a full day of just my own shit. It'd be great. I don't know. I'm sure I could maneuver my schedule around to make that work, but matter of fact, I know I could, and I think I could get 2 half days of my own shit, but then nothing else for the rest of the week. And I don't know if I'd want that. I definitely like the everyday thing, especially if it's my own thing. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's all I got today. Also, this is episode 665. So, you know what's coming. I've been waiting for this. All right, peace.